So Vulcan Energy Resources is a lithium development company with a renewable energy resources components to the business model as well. We have a lithium-rich geothermal brine project in southwest Germany in the Upper Rhine Valley, and we aim to be the largest producers of battery quality lithium hydroxide in Europe. Uniquely, we aim to do this with net zero carbon footprint, and thus we aim to become the world's first producers of net zero carbon lithium. So simply put, we have a geothermal brine in the subsurface, and the aim is to do the same thing that the current geothermal producers are doing in the Upper Rhine Valley, which is to pump up that geothermal brine from the subsurface. And then we, instead of re-injecting that brine back into the subsurface again, as is currently being done, we aim to run the brine stream through a lithium plant via our two-step process and produce a lithium hydroxide product, which will be battery quality. Because we use the energy, the heat and the electricity from the geothermal brine through the geothermal plant, for the lithium processing, and we actually produce a surplus of energy, and because that energy has a net zero carbon footprint, effectively we're producing a net zero carbon lithium product. So we see Frankfurt as a natural home for the company, and we think it's important to diversify our shareholder base here. The reason for that is simple. Our project is only a few kilometers south of here, so our project is local to the Frankfurt area. We see this as a German story, a European story, so we think it's useful that we have the Australian listing and we have the resources backgrounds from Australia and the lithium expertise from Australia. But we also think that this is a European story, so it's important to have European investors in the story as well. So going forward, we have the maiden resource of the company coming out, which will show just how large the lithium in place mineral resource is. And that will be coming out by the end of this year. We also have our scoping study, which we're in the process of wrapping up, which will talk to the economics of the project. So that will be announced in the coming months as well. And going forward, after that, the plan is to roll into pre-feasibility study and definitive feasibility study after that. So we should see some value inflection points in the coming months and year. We also see, hope to see a turnaround in the macro environment for lithium as well, as we really start to see that mass rollout of electric vehicle production in Europe and in the world globally as well. So we have 3.8 million Australian dollars in cash, which sets us up well for current scoping study and pre-feasibility study stages of the project. Of course, we are in the exploration stages of the project, in the development stages, so there will be capital requirements going forward, but at the moment we have a good cash position. So the main activities in the past quarter were, well, first of all, the transaction to actually acquire the Vulcan project and put that into the company. That was one of the main ones. We've also been working on producing an exploration target, which is sort of the phase before we announce our mineral resource, to present a range of values for the total lithium in place. So we produce that exploration target, which shows that the project is very, very large, potentially very, very large, and probably the largest in Europe and globally significant as well. We've also been working in the background on our scoping study as well, so that's been progressing through the last quarter, and as I said, wrapping up as we speak. So we hope to see some step change in value in the company in the coming months as we release our maiden mineral resource as we release the scoping study, and then we go into pre-feasibility stages and definitive feasibility stages. But we also hope to see a large improvement in the macro environment for lithium in Europe. We have seen some forecasts, some very compelling forecasts for very tight supply and very strong demands coming from the growing lithium-ion battery manufacturing capacity in Europe. So we see ourselves positioning for that into the early 2020s. So yeah, we think it's right place, right time for Vulcan Energy Resources.